Alright guys, so I just wanted to make a quick video about your sprocket on the Panigale V2. Quick change kit and chain. These are really cool, but you have to be careful putting these aluminum ones on. So what's going on with mine is, obviously, look at the teeth. They're completely worn. Now this setup has, I put this on at 13,000 miles. The bike has 20,000 on it now. So that's how many miles are on this chain and sprocket kit and the front sprocket. So that means basically it's done. This is a racing application and it's not really made for daily use, and that's what I did with it. So it's the wrong setup for this bike. So what I did was I went ahead. The quick change kits are fine, they're very beneficial, but not an aluminum one. The aluminum ones wear really fast. If you're gonna race your bike and that's all you're gonna do, then get the aluminum. But if you're gonna be street riding it, which is what I've been doing, then it's kind of pointless. So, but the quick change kits are nice because now I don't have to take the whole hub apart, right? All I gotta do now is break the chain and take these bolts off, and that sprocket will come out and I can put the new one in. Now, since I have to break the chain, I'll have to replace the chain. And since I'm doing the front sprocket, or the rear sprocket, I'm also gonna do the front one too, again. So, but that's not good. If you see that type of wear on your bike sprocket, you need to stop riding it, for sure. Now, I have heard that people say you can slip the chain off of your sprocket if you loosen your clamp bolts back here, and then you can essentially push the wheel as far forward as you can and then slip the chain off. You cannot do that. That's not going to work. You can see here I had it pushed so far forward the teeth were actually scratching the swinging arm, and I still couldn't slip the chain out. So when people say they don't have to replace the chain, what they mean by that is when they're doing racing applications with this, that's because they didn't rivet the chain here. All right, once you rivet the chain, the only way to get the chain off is to cut the rivets off, cut the top of the heads and break the chain there. Okay, now you may be able to cut this nice enough to where you can just replace the master link, but when it's got 7,000 or 5,000 miles on it, it's time to replace the chain anyway. The chain's probably fine, honestly, but I'm just gonna replace it. It's just safer to do that, you know, just better to do everything. It is a little bit expensive. Now, what's nice is I don't have to replace it. This is only $50, this sprocket. You know, it's a 43 tooth sprocket, it's 520 conversion. So it's not anything, you know, out of factory or anything. It's just aluminum versus steel, and a lot of miles on it, and that's what happens. So they wear very fast. And you know, so it is what it is. I may have also had the chain a little bit too tight because I'm still learning. I'm not a Ducati master mechanic, you know, guys. I'm still learning this stuff as I go, and I'm learning as I go. But I'm gonna make the videos about, like, you know, the kind of the issues that I've run into. I have yet seen one single person on YouTube talk about the shaking rocker, the shakingness here that you get. And I don't know if that's, it did that on the factory one. So I know it's supposed to do it a little bit, but I don't know if it's that much. So I have yet to find one single video of anybody talking about a tolerance with that. When I talk to Ducati, they're going to let me know. Because I did talk to them. They said it's supposed to move, but not a month. We'll find out what the tolerance is, okay? And I'll let you guys know in a later video, so you guys can have this as a reference for your Ducatis. The cush bolts are fine. I checked them last time. In order to check those the cush drive bolts, which are these ones, and it's in, you know, they're inside there, you have to take everything apart, you know, and those are torqued down. Now, I have them safety wired for obvious reasons, because if one of those bolts comes out or comes loose, you know, that's bad news, right? So back to what I was talking about breaking the chain. What people are talking about is when they save their chain in racing applications, they're like, oh, we just change the sprockets all the time on the track. That's because they don't rivet it. What they do is they put that tab. It's a little squeeze, it squeezes in it to a squeeze tab that goes over top and it locks it, right? You should never use that on a street bike for a lot of different reasons, but mainly because it's not very safe. You know, it's fine for a track because if the chain breaks, if that thing comes loose and the chain breaks, you're on a racetrack, you can go down, you're going to slide in dirt, whatever. You know, preferably you don't want your chain to come off on a racetrack because it can hit another rider, but it does happen, right? But what I'm saying is it's way safer for the chain to come off on a track than it is on a street, or, you know, when you're 2 hours from home. You know what I'm saying? So on a track, it's not a big deal. You take the bike to the pit. If you want to change your sprocket at the, you know, maybe you want to change your gearing at the track, you just break that little tab, break the chain, put the new sprocket on, and then that's it. Then you put it back together. With this, you have to cut it. So that's what they're talking about. Now, like I said, I can probably maybe save this, and I could probably maybe save this and grind those heads and just get a master link. But like I said, now also the front sprocket. It's in order to get to that front sprocket, you have to take the plastics off. You have to take the quick shifter off. You have to take your slave off for your clutch. And the rear sets, I believe, have to come loose too. So it's a lot of work. I also have to take off the fin for the chain. So it's a lot to do all this, but it's not as hard as having to do the whole hub assembly, you know. So, but that's just some of the things you run into when you have these bikes, these super bikes, you know. It's they're not easy to work on. And you know, it's a lot. So if anybody has any suggestions or anything, I mean, I'm welcome in the comments. I've been sick for like 3 days, so but yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass now. That I've been riding, but I've been really taking it easy because the valves are getting scheduled to be done here in a few weeks. So until, like, I haven't really been riding. I go back and forth to work, but I can't I can't go to work with it now, obviously. So the bike's down basically until this is all fixed. I ordered the new steel sprocket now, so instead of aluminum, I got a steel one. So that should be as much better for racing. I know you guys want to get the aluminum stuff because it's high, you know, better and lighter and all this stuff. If you have a street bike that you're riding all the time, it's absolutely pointless to do any kind of lightweight steel or whatever. You know, you're not going to notice a difference in weight like that. You know, like if you're racing the bike competitively, then this is where something like that comes in to benefit you. The only reason this benefits me now is because I don't have to take all this stuff apart. You know, I just have to simply take these bolts out. They're a 13 millimeter. Take those out, and this break the chain, and this whole thing will swap right out. Now, I want to do the front sprocket as well, because you should always replace your front sprocket with your rear. You don't want to like just do one or the other. I can do it to get out of this, but I'm not that type of mechanic. I like to do everything. So once I do this and get that all tightened up, what I'll do is the bike goes to Ducati soon, and I'll have them let me know what the tolerance is supposed to be for that, if there is one, or if they just have a better answer, or if anybody has an answer. I know that there's going to be people that say it's not supposed to move at all. It is supposed to move, you know, but there's just the issue of like how much, right? So it's a single-sided swinging arm, so remember that. It's different than the double. And like, if you guys don't know what single means, it means it only has one side on the swinging arm. Also need a new tire already. It needs front brakes. It needs the valves. I mean, this thing is just really starting to pile up the bill cost, you know. But that's why you guys are going to sign up for my membership. And yeah, but that's available below if you guys want to check that out. We're doing live streams of Starfield. I might do one today. So shout out to Anthony Barina and Sanpei Shadow. They're the two members who started this whole members. So I appreciate you guys. And if you guys want to sign up, that's down there. Members only live streams are going to be coming really soon, guys. As soon as we get like 8 more members. But we are going to do live stream to do some Starfield and some other stuff soon here. I wanted to do it last week, but I was been sick. So anyways, thank you guys, and I'll see you next one.